For the next visualization in CartoDB, all that I've done is I've taken some of the information from the pivot table there, along with clinics, number of clinics providing treatment, counseling, etc., and added that in with information about population of the various provinces, as well as the HIV rates in those various provinces, and have also figured out a few various things like number of HIV positive people based on the rate as well as the actual size of the population. And you can see that it's quite substantial in South Africa. What I want to do is I'm going to import that into CartoDB, and I have that as a Google Drive spreadsheet. I'm going to connect. Now, if you have a pro account on CartoDB, you can actually have this be live data, but that's okay. We have one static table now that we have this information in. So why don't we go ahead and upload that data. And we now have population, HIV clinic, etc., etc. Now, the first thing that we need to do is, if we want to map this, is to associate it with a polygon. So we do have, all of these are also strings, so we're going to need to change these to numbers. But the first thing that I want to do is I want to georeference our provinces. Now, luckily that has this built in here. We don't have to have the latitude and longitude. We have administrative regions by province. Is the name of the title, and I want my data in not Spain, but rather South Africa, and by province. So let's georeference that. We'll hit continue, and it says all of our 9 rows were successfully georeferenced. So we don't even have to do anything now. What we do have to do is actually change some of these from strings to this is all numbers. So change data type, make that a number. Do it. Right, so what we want to do is, this is all in data view. This doesn't help us much yet. If we flip over to map view, we can actually choose what we want it to show. So let's go into the wizard here. What we'd probably like is a choropleth visualization. Let's do of the number of clinics in each place. So if we zoom in here just to South Africa, we can see the number of clinics, but why don't we actually do it based on the number of people living with HIV in each of the provinces. So we can see there in KwaZulu-Natal, that's one of the, has the most number of people, followed by Gauteng, etc. You can change the number of buckets, that is the categories, from 3 to 5 to 7. In this case, there are only 9 different provinces, so we can probably make do with just 5. And there are some really interesting ways of doing this data, whether it's by quantile, so that's dividing the data up into 5 equal parts. If we do it by an equal interval, which is, I think, probably the most accurate way of describing this data. So why don't we go ahead and keep it like that. And we can change the different colors that we have, whether we want it more to the pink level, or yellow, or green, or blue. And we can reverse that if we're decreasing in intensity, etc. We can actually edit that. And we can change the transparency, so if we really want people to be able to see, we can raise that or lower that. I think that gives us a pretty good idea of the visualization. What it doesn't have is, if we hover over it or if we click on it, what information to display. So we can go here and we can add on a hover that what we want is the number of people living with HIV in that particular province. We probably also want the province name, just in case people aren't super aware. So as we zoom over, we see that. And we can also change the legends as we see fit, because right now those numbers don't give us a lot of meaning, so we can actually tell what that means. So what I want to do is, we have the choropleth of the various numbers of people living with HIV, and what I want to do is add a different layer on that to compare that to the clinics. So add layer based on the same data set, the same data table, And what we actually want to do, rather than a choropleth, is we're going to do that, adding on to that by bubbles and by the number of clinics that deal with HIV in that area. You can change the radius here a little bit, again, to make it more equal steps, or to even it out or accentuate. I like to keep that on actual ratio 5 to 25, and we can again change the different colors. So if, let's say, we'll make that more of a deep purple. Again, on the mouse over, what we can do here is to add what it actually shows, which what we want to show is the number of clinics. We want to keep the province title, and there we are. Alright, and again we can change the legend, etc. And so you can actually rotate or go between the different layers. We have the options where, let's see, we can share this, we can either embed it, get the link, just like any other ones.